is a live look from Sky 4 at the Black Lives Matter march. Protesters are on their way back to the 4th precinct after marching to City Hall today. The protest calling for justice after police shot an unarmed black man took on new meaning today.
5 of those protesters are recovering from a shooting outside of the North Minneapolis police station. The gunfire broke out just before 11 last night. Investigators say that 3 masked men fired into the crowd at the 4th precinct. Tonight, one of those shooting victims is back on Plymouth Avenue. He's there using crutches to get around, but said he is committed to the protest that has been going on since police shot 24-year-old Jamar Clark. Clark died last week. The police union says there was a struggle for an officer's gun, but some witnesses say that police shot Clark after he had already been handcuffed. We have team coverage of today's events. Jennifer Merrily is at City Hall, but we want to begin with Bill Hudson, who is at the 4th precinct in North Minneapolis. Bill?
Hi, Frank. Yeah, we just found out from Minneapolis police, too. Good news. They've now got 3 men in custody in connection with last night's shooting. They arrested a 4th, but later released him this afternoon, saying he had nothing to do with it. 2 of those individuals turned themselves in about 2:30 this afternoon. The other was arrested around 11:40 this morning. They are all described as white males. Now, this is the exact thing that the protesters here have been worried about since this occupation began about 10 days ago. People they believe belong to hate groups who come down here and cause trouble. And of course, last night, it did turn violent.
I'm really disgusted about what happened last night.
Marcel Landrum's one of the many who've been bracing for a backlash of hate. It finally happened around 10:40 last night, when 3 men wearing masks approached protester Wesley Martin.
Suspicious-looking white guys. They had asked me if I wanted to be in their Facebook.
When the 3 began yelling and refused to remove their masks, they were escorted away. That's when their visit turned violent. 6 to 8 shots were fired into protesters. A German reporter covering the unrest saw it firsthand.
Some of the activists, they escorted them out of the street that is blocked, and they started following them, some of them, and 10 seconds later we hear the shots.
Martin was struck in the left leg. 4 others, including his brother, were also shot. A Black Lives Matter spokesperson blamed police for not taking the threats seriously.
What happened last night was a planned hate crime and an act of terrorism.
Many in the group allege it's the work of white supremacists who've been taunting protesters. Wesley Martin says he's not intimidated.
They just went through pure muscle, so that's why I'm out here. I don't care if I would be in a wheelchair, I'm still being out here.
And Wesley told us that he really had no warning that this was happening. The men who were down here were all wearing masks. When they were asked to take those masks off, they did not. They refused, so they were escorted about a block north of here. That's when the shooting happened. Frank, Amelia?
And how are we see Martin's leg, but how are the other shooting victims doing, Bill?
Yeah, they were all non-life-threatening injuries, Frank. Most of them were shot in the leg. There was one young man that was shot in the stomach. He required surgery today at HCMC, but all are expected to survive.
Boy, it could have been so much worse.
It could have been just absolutely terrible. You bet.
Okay, Bill, live at the 4th precinct. Thanks.